Uhuru.
Uhuru.
Uhuru. The whole squad is here.
We are here.
In there like swimwear, yeah.
Come
How
on
y'all
in,
doing?
come on in. You
Yeah.
know what time it is.
You
It's
know it.
Africa
that
Worldview.
time.
3 o'clock. Season 3. Episode 24. Can y'all believe it? Episode
Wow.
24. 24.
Wow.
We're getting up there. We're getting
We
up
are
there.
here.
It's
We
gonna
really
be
are.
soon. Some of us are already auntie, but that's a different story.
So, yeah.
Yes,
Let us know where you tuned in from. We're live.
please. And it is so good to be back with you guys. Just gotta say, I'm feeling at home. Feeling
Mm.
home.
It's good to have you back with us.
Yes, yes. And we're gonna get into it today and
Yeah,
into
excited.
it today. Yes, yes.
Excited.
So very, very excited. And we got TX Tiff Blue in the house. Says Uhuru ladies. Uhuru.
Uhuru.
Uhuru. All right.
Tiffany.
And we got K Pebbles 8 Uhuru Queens. Uhuru. Comrade Sandra Uhuru 926 says Uhuru comrade. Let's
Uhuru
get
Sandy, one of our biggest fans. I feel like she's
yeah,
always tuned in. Always
yeah.
tuned in.
All right. Tuning from wet Washington State. I hear that. I hear that.
We
K
actually
Pebbles. Oh,
in
I'm sorry. What were you supposed to
Virginia.
say?
I said we actually got snow in Virginia this past weekend.
Ooh,
It was
okay.
warm indeed. Yeah. Mhm.
It's a little rainy over here. It's not really cute, but
That's how it is here. A lot of rain.
yes. Well, I digress, ladies. You ready to get into it?
I'm
Let's get
ready.
into it.
Let's do it.
Uhuru, Uhuru. I am Soliana, managing editor for the Burning Spear newspaper, the longest running Black Power newspaper.
The longest. And you're here. I'm Dr. Mariah, promotions coordinator for Black Power 96.3 FM radio, based out of St. Petersburg, Florida, but available worldwide through our Black Power 96 mobile app on your phones here. Our show airs on Black Power 96 FM radio every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Uhuru, and I am Akile Anai, the Director of Media and Communications for the Uhuru Movement. And as I mentioned, I am so excited to be joining my co host again. And we are back today with another episode of the One Africa Worldview podcast. You know, the show that brings you African internationalist analysis on the day's top headlines, dynamic discussions, and presentations from anti colonial organizers and experts across the globe. And most importantly, a to what end to our struggle against colonialism with real time ways on how to engage and get involved. And just a reminder for our loyal listeners, as Comrade Mariah mentioned, and those tuning in with us for the very first time, it's important that you know you can listen to your favorite show, One Africa Worldview, on Black Power 96.3 FM radio, broadcasting out of St. Petersburg, Florida. Download that app to catch us on the FM Thursdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, go ahead, download the Black Power 96 radio app to never miss us or subscribe to our YouTube and Rumble channels.
That's right. You have so many ways to tune in, so don't slack on that. So for today's show, we are going to kick off with the Whirlwind Weekly Update, as we usually do. We're going to take a look at major developing world events and victories of the Uhuru Movement. Then we'll head into our primary objective, which is our segment that is going to feature the powerful guest article, "The Revolution Will Not Be Terrorized," submitted by Andreina Chavez at Venezuela Analysis.
Right after that, we've got this exciting further culture segment, as we always do, where this week we'll be discussing our 2025 music playlist and exposing all that, showing y'all and letting you know what we've been listening to. So you'll definitely want to stay tuned for that. So we've got an entire show with all these dynamic segments ready for you today.
Yes, right on. Well, let's get into it, comrades. So, Liana, what's the latest on U.S. war provocation against Venezuela?
Right. So, according to the CNN, right, the U.S. military carried out a follow-up strike on a suspected "quote-unquote" drug vessel operating in the Caribbean on September 2. This was after initial attack, did not kill everyone on board. And this, has kicked off an all-out assault on the South American coast, as we've been hearing in the news, with the U.S. continuing its strikes on civilian boats in the name of, the war on drugs, right? And more recently, the Pentagon actually announced just this past Thursday on the 4th that the US military had conducted another deadly strike on a boat suspected of carrying, again, illegal narcotics. And it's reported that 4 men were killed in the process in the Eastern Pacific. And this was actually posted on X by the U.S. Southern Command, which is what the name of the military operation that's taking place right now in this attack. And it was posted with the caption, "On December 4, at the direction of Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, Joint Task Force TheBurningSpear conducted a lethal strike on a vessel in international waters operated by a designated terrorist organization." I guess that's the technical term for what they, claim these groups are. Um, Continuing, intelligence confirmed that the vessel was carrying illicit narcotics and transiting along a known narco trafficking route in the Eastern Pacific, and that 4 male narco terrorists aboard the vessel were killed. And we can go ahead and take a look at that video. Yeah, so what we just saw was just, this boat going, and it was in the crosshairs, and, it was a bird's eye view that they shot at it, and we see it exploding. And so, based on latest reports, this December 4 attack is the 22nd strike the U.S. military has carried out against boats in the Caribbean Sea and the Eastern Pacific Ocean as well. And it has brought the death toll of this campaign to at least 87 people since September, when the strikes began. Now, people, obviously are still debating the legality of this action, as is common with everything Trump does in these days. But just like, his declaration of war on Mexican indigenous people with his war on immigration, that we saw over the summer really lit LA on fire, right? And we also talked about this on the show, by declaring that their presence, right, counted as an invasion. Trump's doing the same thing, but instead saying that, the cartels are waging war in the U.S. by trafficking drugs into the U.S. And so now the U.S. has the sort of basis or the right to kill any civilian it wants in the process, and wreak havoc on sovereign nations in South America, right? And a lot of this obviously is happening under Trump, but we understand, and we've been saying that it's not just Trump, it's the whole damn system, right? What allows Trump, or really any other U.S. president, to blatantly attack colonized people, right? We also saw this under Obama plenty of times. In this way, is a system that's rotten already. It's a colonial system that allows this in the first place, and we have the history to back it. I mean, now I'm talking like recent history, right? Because we knew about the war on drugs in the 80s. That was just a colloquial term for a concentrated war on African communities, right? So we've definitely seen this exact play before. So, as African people, as colonized people, it's really important that we declare solidarity with African and colonized people in the Caribbean and Venezuela particularly. And I also want to say, definitely stay tuned, because we will be talking a bit more about Venezuela and some of the historical context that's really informing what we're seeing today in the primary objective segment of our show today. So definitely stay tuned. But before we get into that, Dr. Mariah, you've got some great news about the Uhuru Solidarity movement's recent Reparations Telethon. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. We know that the Uhuru movement just really continues to make reparations a reality, y'all. And this time collecting over $20,000 last Tuesday during the Uhuru Solidarity Movement's 7th annual Reparations Telethon. $20,000 was collected on. These funds are going to fund the programs of the Black Power Blueprint, focused primarily at this time in building the capacity of the Black community in St. Louis to feed, clothe, house, heal, and just really educate our families. And if you missed it, I do encourage you to go over and visit the Uhuru Solidarity Movement's YouTube channel and check it out there. It was just a really dynamic program where they reviewed all the struggles that the Black Power Blueprint has been waging when it comes to just the progress being made there, and the same thing and this impact of the Colonial Team 4 plan in St. Louis there. And in addition, we also saw the renovating the dilapidated housing for the community, just really creating a community garden and farmers market, installing that state-of-the-art basketball court that we've seen, opening up the bakery, cafe, and the food desert that is right there in North St. Louis. And the Black Power Blueprint has taken on this leading the reconstruction of North St. Louis following that whole devastation of this last summer's EF3 tornado that we focus on here. And it's just the city of FEMA completely ignored and failed the Black community. And we're doing it for ourselves as always. And reparations for the white community is a part of that when it comes to that. And you guys, it's just that whole thing here in the last but not least when it comes to that. And the most important part of it is that just the whole news on the home front is that our new favorite award ceremony that really shows what the Blueprint is doing and all of the volunteers and supporters there. We have the Into You Heart and Soul Volunteer Awards that took place on December the 6th, 2025. And we've got the latest on all of the winners in that award ceremony. So, Comrade, will you do the honors of announcing the winners that we saw this year?
Absolutely. It is my pleasure to do that. First, I want to acknowledge, of course, our leadership, Chairman Omali Shatella and Deputy Chair Ona Zanea Shatella. And it was the Deputy Chair's office that organized the whole NTU Volunteer Brigade program and introduced it to the Uhuru Movement. And for the purposes of the Uhuru Movement to engage with like-minded, freedom-loving people that offer their incredible talents, their time, and their skills to the various projects and institutions of the Uhuru Movement. And the Heart and Soul Awards ceremony is an annual event that recognizes the tremendous contribution of all of our volunteers. And everyone is recognized, given certificates and give backs. And all participating institutions submit nominees for several of the award categories. And this year, there were a total of 56 nominations. Chairman made, I believe it was the chairman that made the point that this was enough to form a whole mass organization, the amount of nominations that were submitted. And so we're going to talk a little bit about, those categories and the winners. The first category is the Bold Initiative Award. And to be eligible for this award, the following things must occur. First, the person is not afraid to do things which involve risk, that is intended to solve a problem, whether a novel improvement or an innovative way to accomplish a task. The Bold Initiative Award helps move the organization forward, improves the quality of the organization's operations and services, and accomplished a major project to advance the struggle of African and oppressed people all over the world. So there were two winners in this category, and the awards were presented by Chairman Omali Shatella himself. So the first winner of the Bold Initiative Award is Comrade Lukade Maku. And this distinguished award recipient is a steeled African internationalist organizer driven by a profound love for Africa and its people. They are a unifier whose leadership actively rejects colonial divisions to unite the African working class across all borders. And he is a results-driven leader, already instrumental in launching key initiatives to expand our organization's capacity. And this dedicated and mobilizing organizer is also willing to travel anywhere, to be on the ground, to do the work that needs to be done. In fact, they are now moving to St. Louis, right there in the heart of the Black Power Blueprint in the headquarters of the African People's Socialist Party. So we really want to salute Comrade Lukade, who's also the president of the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement, newly appointed. So Uhuru, Comrade, much and well-deserved. And the second winner of the Bold Initiative Award is Comrade Jesse Neville, who embodies fearless leadership and creativity that comes from deep unity He is a motivating force who always jumps into any assignment with problem-solving enthusiasm, and their stance inspires countless white people to join the fight for reparations to African people. And he also answered the call to become the party's attorney, using his brilliance to apply for law school. And fun fact, he scored in the top 99 percentile on the LSATs. While continuing to lead and build his area of work, he's the chair of the Uhuru Solidarity movement, and everything that he does. He's a person that acts with revolutionary integrity and the highest unity with white solidarity with Black power. And we also know Comrade Jesse as one of the Uhuru Three. So if that just says anything about this comrade's dedication and commitment. So congratulations, comrades, of the Bold Initiative Award. We're moving now to the Commitment to Excellence Award. And this is where, nominees are always striving to make things the very best for the African working class and African self-determination. So the winners of this category were Tehran, who was nominated by the Black Power Blueprint Promotions team. He is an excellent photographer. He brings his own equipment to the meetings, volunteer work days, and events to capture the joy and humanity of everyone who is engaged in the process of transforming the Black community as part of the strategy of the Black Power Blueprint. And his work shows the courage and the lively spirit of our community fighting against the colonial system that manifests itself in every aspect of our lives. So salute and shout out to Comrade Tehran. Congratulations. And we also have Sister Lucretia, also known as Coach Cretia, who was nominated by the African National Women's Organization. She has been a volunteer with ANWO since the start of ANWO's Los Angeles branch in 2022. She leads their Fit to Fight program. She's an which is an integrative program designed to be a holistic approach to empower our members for self-sustainability and self-preservation. And she highlights the importance of paying attention to the physical, mental, and spiritual connection, and how working out can be a form of therapy. And her dedication continues to inspire a movement of healthier, stronger, and more purpose-driven women ready to serve their families and communities. Shout out, salute to Comrade Coach Cretia on this award. And our next category was the On the Spot Award, which represents someone who was always there when you need them, and also when you didn't know you needed them, to do whatever is needed to complete the task at hand. And the first winner of this category went to Comrade Amir, who was nominated by the Black Power Blueprint Promotions team. In the past 6 months, Amir has raised his level of political and organizational responsibility to expand the reach of Black Power Blueprint on multiple platforms. He is an instrumental force on the promotions team, and he truly shines on projects that draw on his strong technical and organizational skills. Amir has also played key roles in Uhuru Furniture and Collectibles for many years and continues to support in every way that he can from Philadelphia. So shout out Amir. And the second award for the On the Spot Award was Comrade Talmadge. So Uhuru Comrade Talmadge, you got a special place in our hearts over here at One Africa Worldview, who was nominated by Black Power 96 Radio. And Talmadge, consistently steps up whenever the station needs support, often at a moment's notice, whether it's producing, voicing, or editing PSAs and underwriting mentions. He handles every task with precision, frequently meeting tight turnaround deadlines. And this year, Talmadge expanded his contributions by serving as our post-production editor for the One Africa Worldview podcast, preparing episodes for broadcast with skillful attention to detail. His commitment, adaptability, and team spirit truly exemplify what it means to be on the spot. And I also know Talmadge is watching right now, so Uhuru, and congratulations, Comrade Talmadge. And the next award category was the Dedicated Service Award, which goes to someone who has contributed a lot of their time. Nothing in the world takes the place of persistence and determination. And the winner of the first awardee of the Dedicated Service Award was Comrade Marge. She was nominated by Uhuru Foods and Pies in St. Petersburg, Florida, where they actually met Marge at an Uhuru Movement march 10 years ago. And she's an expert baker and cook, having previously owned a restaurant. She began volunteering at the Uhuru breakfast and lunch booth, and she is a calm multitasker and offers positive encouragement to volunteers she helps to train. I can attest to this. I've worked with Comrade Marge. She is incredible, and she's super sweet, and just totally well-deserving of the Dedicated Service Award. And, Marge really exemplifies a deep commitment to African self-determination and to reparations in action. So shout out to Comrade Marge. And the second winner of the Dedicated Service Award category, also from Black Power 96 Radio, Chris W. is an exceptional volunteer whose time and technical expertise have strengthened Black Power 96 Radio. His determination to improve the station's technical operations have made a lasting impact. Chris has donated and installed various pieces of studio and broadcast equipment. His willingness to step in whenever needed and to share his expertise exemplifies what it means to be a dedicated volunteer. So Black Power 96 says they are truly fortunate to have his knowledge, compassion, and commitment. Shout out to Chris W. Right on. Congratulations. And next up is the Leadership Award, which goes to volunteers who step up to lead, train, and to bring in other volunteers. And the first winner was announced to be Comrade Anthony, who was nominated by the Gary Brooks Black Power Community Garden, and he is profoundly committed to the health and well-being of the African working class community in North St. Louis. He has volunteered and organized others to volunteer in the Gary Brooks Garden, at the One Africa, One Nation Farmers Market, at the grand opening of the basketball court, and more. He is a leader of a non-collegiate African men's fraternity, Kappa Psi Kappa Gamma chapter, and he has unleashed his brothers who volunteered throughout the season and even took on leadership roles. So, really reproduced himself in this project as well. So just really salute Comrade Anthony who received the Leadership Award. And the second award in this category was Comrade Arion Propman Johnson Sr., who was nominated by the Northside Independent Neighborhood Association, or NINA. He is a lifelong resident of St. Louis. He's a father and advocate for the African community. He has dedicated many years working with young African women and men, teaching important trade skills, particularly in how to build tiny homes. He and his organization, Youth Builders, volunteered their time to set up and break down the Northside Community Block Party. And his commitment to the Northside African community is strongly felt by his efforts to teach over 300 young people how to build tiny homes for free since the May 2025 tornado that devastated many areas of the North Side. He has received no recognition nor funding from the city government, but still has unwavering commitment to teaching young Africans real-world skills. And there is no other organization that has taught more people trade skills for free. So shout out to Arion Propman Johnson Sr., again, one of the winners of the Leadership Award. The next category had 16 nominations. So there were actually 3 winners for this category. And the Volunteer Team Award goes to a group whose outstanding performance and accomplishments together warrant recognition, or a company who values sending their employees out to participate in community work, really giving back to the community. So the first awardee was Chicken and Pickle, which is a popular restaurant and pickleball venue in St. Charles. And they had a bright and lively group of volunteers who had high spirits and were very happy to be contributing to the Black community's struggle to rebuild and stay in their homes following that tornado. And we just really want to thank Chicken and Pickle for helping bring self-determination back to the north side of St. Louis. And the second winner was Raven and Jordan, who, after the tornado devastation on the north side, they immediately opened up their event space, Work and Leisure, as a collection site for donations of food, water, and supplies for the Black Power Blueprint to distribute to community members. And then they donated their space to be used as the venue for the Reparations Legacy benefit for the Black Power Blueprint that raised over $17,000. Both Raven and Jordan believe in the right of the Black community to be self-determining. Their stand of solidarity with the African community is worthy of recognition. So salute to Raven and Jordan. And the final winner in the Volunteer Team Award was United Healthcare, who sent a big group who were very passionate about making a difference through their volunteering, and they really delivered. One team did interior painting in a home that was seriously impacted by the tornado. They went to work painting, including in the kitchen and the front rooms of the home. The other team helped at one of the buildings slated to become a cafe and training kitchen. And this building had roof damage from the tornado, and everyone contributed so much and made such an impact on these projects. So shout out, to our brothers and sisters with the United Healthcare that came out, and salute to you for winning the volunteer team award. So our next category was a Spirit and Positivity Award that recognizes individuals whose positive attitude impacts those around them and is contagious, motivating, and enhancing the confidence of everyone around them. And one of the winners of this category was James. When during the award ceremony, if you guys didn't catch it, you can catch it on YouTube. There was so like the whole room was whooping in St. Louis when when James was announced. But he was nominated by the African National Women's Organization. His positive energy, sense of humor, and can-do attitude lifts the spirits of everyone around him. No matter the circumstances, James brings joy and encouragement to the task, reminding us that community organizing can be both powerful and full of laughter. And he embodies a spirit of teamwork and commitment that keeps the One Africa, One Nation farmers market moving forward with joy, strength, and unity. Shout out to Brother James. And the second winner of this category was USM San Francisco Bay's Kate, who they met over a year ago at the monthly Bear Witness for Palestine, where her passion and spirit for solidarity with the Palestinian people were palpable. Kate took an interest in USM, the Solidarity Movement, immediately showing a keen desire to learn about African internationalism, and soon embraced USM's anti-colonial stance and drive for reparations to African people. She has enthusiastically contributed and volunteered at USM events, meetings, and other USM yard sales, where she donated many items. She has been such a bright light, affecting everyone around her with her eagerness to learn and her strong desire for all colonized people to be free. So shout out to Kate out there in USM San Francisco. And now we're getting down to our final two categories. The Heart and Soul Award, which goes to someone who always gives their all, solves problems with creative ideas, and makes others better as a result of their presence. So the first winner of the Heart and Soul Award went to Gregory, and he was nominated by two organizations. He is valued for all his volunteer contributions across so many areas of the Uhuru movement, which makes his volunteer times in the Gary Brooks Black Power Community Garden all the more appreciated. Gregory sees the whole picture of African self-determination and economic and political power as interconnected. Gregory has been with the One Africa, One Nation farmers market from the very beginning, bringing knowledge, culture, and community to every market. His consistency and positive energy make him an essential part of the market's rhythm and spirit. And recently, he joined the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement as the economic coordinator, deepening his commitment to building African economic power. Gregory truly embodies the heart and soul of our community, making everyone better through his presence, wisdom, and dedication. So shout out to Gregory, really powerful. Gave an incredible acceptance speech during the volunteer awards. So shout out to Gregory, congratulations. And the second winner of the Heart and Soul Award was Comrade Willie, who was nominated by the Northside Independent Neighborhood Association and has contributed so much to the African community and to Nina's work to bring together the Northside neighborhoods and revitalize the community. He has lived in that neighborhood his entire life and represents the true genius of the African working class. He is self-trained in carpentry, mechanics, and many other skills. He built his own successful business and his mobile outdoor kitchen, which he continues to upgrade to bring delicious food to the community and be a model for Black-owned self-determining businesses. He encourages others to join with Nina, the Uhuru Bakery and Cafe, and the Black Power Blueprint. Shout out to Willie. Congratulations on your win for the Heart and Soul Award. And lastly, the Uhuru NTU Volunteer of the Year Award goes to individuals whose performance demonstrates extraordinary efforts above and beyond the quote-unquote call of duty, who demonstrate enthusiasm and who promote pride, teamwork, and a positive image throughout the organization, who should be recognized for their contribution. So this is the Volunteer of the Award. The first Volunteer of the Year Award went to, Comrade Jan. And Jan was nominated by three separate organizations: Uhuru Foods and Pies, Uhuru Solidarity Movement, and the Gary Brooks Community Garden. That means all these people had something good to say about Jan. Jan has been an amazing volunteer with Uhuru Foods and Pies in 2025. She's worked in the kitchen on many occasions. She worked with Uhuru Foods for 5 days straight on the Tower Grove Pride booth, prepping the kitchen, staffing the booth, and coming to unload the equipment at Jico Kitchen. Jan joined the painting brigade to put the murals on the bakery. And from the moment Jan Wan signed up to join USM in 2024, she has been an exemplary USM volunteer whose solidarity with African self-determination has inspired others. Whether she is hitting the streets to drop literature for the days of reparations, putting up posters all around town, staffing outreach booths at local farmers markets, making phone calls to win donors and supporters, or taking notes in meetings, Jan's love for the movement and for reparations to African people is expressed beautifully, both in her words and in her actions, right? It's not about what you say, it's what you do. And lastly, Jan has a love for gardening, but it's the mission of the Gary Brooks Black Power Community Garden that drives her. Jan promotes the garden and takes responsibility to lead a team during large group volunteer Saturdays, as well as volunteering on weekdays. If there is gardening to do, Jan is there. Salute, Jan, on your win of Volunteer of the Year. And this category also had a second winner, and that is our very own comrade, Dr. Mariah, who took home this award. We were not on the voting committee, so I just want to say there was no bias here. But we are so happy as One Africa Worldview to say one of our own, Dr. Mariah, took home this award, with Black Pride 96 saying this about Mariah, that she has taken Black Pride 96 promotions to a new and inspiring level. She obtained credentials that allow Black Pride 96 to be recognized as a professional media outlet at important festivals in the Southern region. Mariah produced and shared powerful reports from each festival across our website, social media platforms, and the One Africa Worldview podcast. Mariah also joined, obviously, the One Africa Worldview podcast team. And Mariah sets ambitious new goals for Black Pride 96's social media presence. She provides thoughtful reports and clear recommendations that contribute toward measurable growth. Mariah's dedication, creativity, and leadership exemplify the spirit of service. She consistently demonstrates a profound love for Black Pride 96 Radio, the Uhuru Movement, and African people worldwide. Her contributions this year have strengthened the station's reputation and deepened its connection to the community we serve. So Uhuru, shout out, salute, congrats, Dr. Mariah, for winning Volunteer of the Year. Uhuru.
Uhuru. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Congratulations, Dr. Mariah. First of all, we see you every week on the show, so this is no surprise to us that you took home that award, but we definitely want to shout you out, and definitely, congratulations are in order to all of the nominees and all of the winners, and, definitely salutes to all of the volunteers who really, make the work and victories of the Uhuru movement possible, right? We mean it when we say that volunteers are the heart of the movement in so many ways. Everyone really contributes to the, paving of a liberated African economy and society. And, it's really inspiring to see. And when you join the Uhuru movement, you're going to get recognized for what you do, what you contribute. So yeah, thank you to everyone. And thank you, Director Kia, for taking us through all of those amazing winners. Even me, who's been in the movement for so long, I didn't know a lot of these names. So it's so cool to see just how many members we have, how differently everyone contributes. So thank you for that. But yeah, Dr. Mariah, do you want to close out this segment with a few words or anything like that? As you are one of our winners.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, just speaking of just all the bright moments there and all that bright talent, we saw all the nominees there, and just being able to be a part of that, just winning that Volunteer of the Year award. It's just really, I'd like to say, more than an award. It's just really a confirmation of the growth, the purpose, just all of the things that we have going on, just really sharpening my own skills when it comes to servicing my people. So yeah, just every event attended, and just all the articles written there, just every marketing campaign that we created there, just all the radio shows boosted that we thought about, you name it, every discussion here at even One Africa Worldview, just all of that, every message, it became amplified. It just really became really loud there, and it became a part of something just really bigger for me, just bigger than really even me. And I like to say that just over this whole past year, and we'll look back at a lot here and just really reflect and see that just that we just didn't learn to work harder. Myself, I learned to just really work more politically. When I say that, work to use my talents in media, have talents in marketing, communication, all of that. Just really use it in the organization to push forward this whole kind of revolution that our community deserves. The revolution that we talk about, that revolution that's already in action, and we're seeing it here. And just my skills just didn't grow, as I said, they became tools in that revolution, and just tools to help build this awareness, tools to create resources, tools to uplift our stories, and tools to fight for the liberation of our own African people and people everywhere. When I say that, and it's just winning this award, and I'll just keep saying that, it just reminds me that when you stand with your own people, when you commit yourself to this struggle, and when you align your gifts with the revolutionary mission, your work, it doesn't need to make a voice to make an impact. It speaks for itself, and it just becomes a contribution to that whole history and to that whole action, that plan of action. And I just really want to thank the chairman. I want to thank Chairman. I want to thank Deputy Chair. I want to thank BP96 Station Manager Eddie Maltzby. I want to thank Director Akile. I want to thank Comrade Sandy, Comrade Lisa. I want to thank you, my co-host Liliana. Just every force within the movement here. And like I keep saying, I grew this year. And I leveled up, and I learned to just step a lot deeper into my purpose and know that the revolution, it's a collective effort, y'all. And I'm honored that my work has become a part of that fight.
Uhuru, that was so lovely. Thank you so much, Dr. Mariah. You really are an example of turning your skills over to the revolution, right? So really appreciate you saying that and being part of the movement, of course. But yeah, y'all already know now it's time to go ahead and move over to our primary objective themed, the revolution will not be terrorized. As you can see with all of these bold and incredible volunteers who move the work forward despite the ongoing efforts by the US and world colonial powers to shut us down. For this segment, we're going to be reading from an article submitted by Andreina Chavez with Venezuela Analysis in Caracas, Venezuela. And in this piece, she gives some very important historical context to the assault being made on Venezuela today. It speaks on the unity of Venezuelan and African people in the historical struggle against colonialism. So let's go ahead and get into that.
All right. So, and it is available on TheBurningSpear.com. And starts, the Caribbean Sea holds the memories of countless African and indigenous lives brutally killed by imperial power. From the terrible transatlantic slave trade to today's US bombings of civilian vessels executing dozens of Caribbean people. Though separated by centuries, the underlying motives remain the same: profit-driven colonial domination. This year, Latin America and the Caribbean honor the memory of the victims of the Zong massacre on its 244th anniversary and its lasting impact on the fight against colonialism. In 1781, the British slave ship Zong left Accra in Ghana with 442 Africans on board, which was more than twice its capacity. The captives were destined for Jamaica, where they would be sold for an average price of 36 pounds each to work on sugar plantations. However, the British enslavers ran low on supplies after navigating off course miles from the island and decided to mass murder captives to collect insurance money of 30 pounds per person. On November 29th, 54 women and children were thrown into the Caribbean Sea. A further 78 men were tossed overboard in the following days, while 10 enslaved people jumped into the water in an act of revolutionary resistance. Another 62 Africans had already died on board from malnutrition and disease. The story is only known because of court documents, which were filed after the insurance company sued the ship's crew to avoid paying. The Zong massacre reminds us of horrors of colonialism and serves as a warning against today's Western imperialist efforts to repeat history through different methods, exploiting the labor and resources of indigenous and Black nations.
The Caribbean Massacre. Centuries ago, the bodies of thousands of Africans were either left to drown or to be eaten by sharks. The same is happening now, with more than 80 people having been killed since September, mostly in Caribbean waters just a few miles from the Venezuelan coast, but also in the Eastern Pacific by U.S. military forces. Their mangled bodies have been left to sink to the bottom of the sea or wash up on the shores of nearby countries such as Trinidad and Tobago, as happened soon after the U.S. attacked the first vessel, killing 11. Trinidadian villagers said that the two corsairs that washed ashore had burn marks on their faces, making them unrecognizable, and that they were missing limbs as if they had been blown up. Rather than acknowledging these deaths as likely victims of U.S. terrorism, the New York Times, which first reported the story, described the body's mutilated appearance as a mystery. The victims of recent U.S. bombings hail from Venezuela, Colombia, and Trinidad and Tobago, all territories within a centuries long legacy of indigenous and African anti colonial resistance. Fishing communities have reported friends and relatives missing in the past 3 months, believing U.S. forces likely bombed them. The Trump administration claims the boats were trafficking narcotics, but has never presented any supporting evidence. United Nations officials and experts have classified the strikes as extrajudicial killings, a term that essentially means murder. Even if the allegations were true, the U.S. government does not have the authority to kill people in the Caribbean on the colonial basis that their lives are worth less than American lives, as the British slavers on the Zong did to Africans. Every boat we knock out, we save 25,000 American lives, said convicted felon and U.S. President Donald Trump. Not only is this argument entirely false, but it's deeply racist.
U.S. lies and terrorism. Washington has dubbed its maritime terrorizing campaign Operation Southern Spear. With the self-declared anti-narcotics mission, the U.S. has stationed thousands of troops, dozens of tactical aircraft, and destroyer ships in the Caribbean since mid-August. This excessive force includes the USS Gerald R. Ford, the world's largest aircraft carrier, and its strike group. In addition, the Pentagon is rehabilitating its former Roosevelt Roads Naval Station in Ceiba, Puerto Rico, where U.S. Marines are conducting amphibious landing drills. Meanwhile, the U.S. 22nd Marine Expeditionary Unit, specialized in attacks in foreign countries, has held two joint exercises since October with forces from Trinidad and Tobago, only about 7 miles off the coast of Venezuela. Two Caribbean nations, one under U.S. colonial rule since 1898, and another, a former European colony until 1962, which shares indigenous roots with Venezuela, are being used as staging grounds for U.S. militarism in the region and to terrorize Venezuela's 26-year-old anti-colonial Bolivarian revolution, which is under threat of invasion. The main objective has never been to stop drug smuggling into the US. This is an evil that US officials have historically welcomed because it is profitable. After all, it was American pharmaceutical companies that created the US opioid crisis by aggressively marketing addictive pain medication that kills thousands yearly, while politicians turn a blind eye. The real objective is to prevent Venezuela's revolutionary project. This involves halting the flow of Venezuelan oil to allies, such as Cuba and China, under sovereign agreements. The intention is to force Venezuela back to a time when U.S. oil companies could exploit the country without restriction, and the Venezuelan people were denied sovereignty. History has taught us that every U.S. regime change effort is preceded by false narrative to justify intervention. In this case, Washington has accused Caracas of playing a major role in international drug trafficking, a claim disproven by both the UN Office on Drug and Crime and the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency in their yearly reports. Venezuela does not produce drugs and is an insignificant transit country in the global narcotics trade. Around 90% of the cocaine from South America reaches the U.S. via Pacific routes and U.S. allied Central American nations. Deadly fentanyl primarily enters the U.S. through official ports of entry on the southern border, mostly smuggled in by U.S. citizens. Despite all the evidence pointing to the opposite, in 2020, the U.S. Department of Justice brought narco-terrorism charges against Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and other senior officials, trying them to the non-existent Cartel de los Soles. A USD $50 million bounty has been placed on Maduro's head as well. No international court, UN body, or independent investigation has ever found the existence of a real organized Cartel de los Soles entrenched in the Venezuelan state. The term was coined by Venezuelan media to refer to CIA assets within the military who were involved in drug smuggling in the 1990s. This label was later adopted by Washington and corporate media as a political tool to smear revolutionary leader Hugo Chavez and later his successor, President Maduro. Washington does not care how infallible its narratives are because its aim is to render revolutionary projects toxic and terrorize the people carrying them forward. The current military threats against Venezuela follow years of coercive economic sanctions that have killed tens of thousands of people, failed mercenary invasions, attacks on critical infrastructure, and the imposition of a parallel US-backed government.
Holding on to the future. The lies evolve into increasingly ridiculous ones, and the strategies for regime change vary. But at the heart of it all is the same racist US empire built on stolen indigenous land and African slavery, which is attempting to recolonize South America. Venezuela is the obvious target because it is at the forefront of the struggle against this imposition and is a living example that it is possible to resist and thrive despite imperialist aggression. Under Chavez, Venezuela nationalized its oil and gas industry in 2007, bringing the world's largest oil reserves and fourth largest gas reserves under domestic control, with revenue funding free healthcare and education for the people. The country began to advance a new model of social relations based on community and a better life. This can be seen today in the country's assembly-driven and self-governed communes, which are reimagining a future of life over profit, popular power and solidarity, despite the constant wars waged by the US. Omali Yeshitela, longtime leader of the Uhuru Movement and founder of the African People's Socialist Party, perfectly identified the current struggle as one between the colonial past that the US decadent empire is trying to lock us in and the fledgling New World. The 1781 Zong massacre and today's US atrocities in the Caribbean are mirrors of this struggle. What is happening between the US and Venezuela is an attempt to hold back history, he said during an online Venezuela Solidarity event on November 13th. Prevent the future from occurring, a future of liberation, free from the past of slavery and colonialism. The Uhuru leader issued a timely warning that those trying to hold us back would stop at nothing to achieve their goal, from killing fishermen on small vessels to invading Venezuela, to loot its resources, and to stop the example set by the Bolivarian Revolution. The revolution will not be terrorized, said Yeshitela. This statement conveys more than we realize. Venezuela's Bolivarian revolution cannot be terrorized into submission, nor can it be defeated, because it has already shown the world what our collective future holds. So that is the article, again, by Comrade Andreina Chavez, and we really appreciate just the submission, and I want to really thank Andreina as well, and to look forward to future publications from Andreina in the TheBurningSpear newspaper. In fact, for the first time, she will be published in the print edition of the Spear coming in January 2026. So, thank you.
Powerful article there. I really appreciate having this whole analysis, especially when all of this colonial media just really regurgitates the same old lies, y'all, and the same old lies that they're using to justify themselves and their attacks. And we see that happening over and over. So it's so powerful to see this here and be able to explore that. Wow. But yeah, speaking of tunes, we're going to transition right now into our Further Culture segment, y'all, where we're giving you a peek into our musical world this week, and we're exposing our top 10 artists in 2025.
Yep, that's absolutely right. It's about that time that people are posting screenshots of their top 10 artists. So we're excited to hop on the trend and get into this. And, we want to know who dominated, your playlist in 2025. So definitely, let us know in the chat while I go ahead and get us started and reveal my top 10. So for my top 10, the first person that is listed up there is this Ethiopian artist named Rofnan, which I was surprised at. I don't think I would listen to him that much, but apparently I do. He makes empiric music, but it's very EDM, dance. It's great music to run to. So I think that's why he's number one, because every time I go to the gym, I just put him on and I'm there for like half an hour running. So it's like that explains it. Number two, Bob Marley and the Wailers. He's been on my top 10 since like 2016. So this is like no surprise here. I'm surprised he's number two, but yeah. Lana Del Rey being number three was a complete shock to me. Like, I haven't listened to her since like March of this year, but I think I really wore out one particular album. I must have been about feelings, I don't know. But yes, she's up there now, number three. Number four is Barbara Mason. She's an R&B artist from the 60s. There's one particular album that was really wearing out. It's called Oh How It Hurts. Every track is just really really beautiful, and I've been hunting for its vinyl, but I can't find it anywhere. So if you guys actually know where I can get it, please let me know, because I couldn't come across it. Number five, Sade. So the trend is I've been in my feelings for a while, apparently. So I'm just exposing myself here. Number 6, the Temperies, another 1960s, 70s R&B group. Number 7, Cleo Soul. Oh my God, R&B really dominated my playlist this year. That's crazy. Number 8, Rosie and the Originals, another very obscure group from like early 60s, late 50s even, that they had this one song called Angel Baby that was like number 1 in 1962 or something. And I think I wore that particular track out for a while. So turns out they're number 8. Number 9, the Smiths. Surprised they made my top 10. Like, I like them, but number 9, crazy. And then number 10, Snow Allegra, again closing it out with modern R&B. But that is my top 10. Please don't judge. And I'm not as sad as it makes it out to seem.
I can't judge. This list is good. This list is good. We're going to get into it in a second, but I'm going to go ahead and share my top 10, which I just want to preface by saying I have a kid. So this explains why this is my number 1. Okay. Yes, I'm blaming it on my daughter. But oh wait, this is not number 1. I'm sorry. No, number 1 was K-pop Demon Hunters. It was the soundtrack to the K-pop Demon Hunters film. Mm-hmm. And yes, I'm blaming it on my child, but I also really like this album. So it definitely went triple platinum in the house. Then we have the K-pop group Twice. If you know, you're a K-pop fan on here, Twice is gonna be your list. Then I have Doechii, big Doechii stan here. And Kendrick Lamar, this is the second consecutive year Kendrick is on my list. And then Cardi B dropped the album this year, so let's run it up. She really made my gym tunes, so this explains that. And then number 6 was Snow Allegra, who also has, this is like her second or third year on my list. And if she dropped the new project, she'd have probably been at the top. And then we have XG, which is also it's a Japanese girl group. And then Le Seraphim, which is another K-pop group. Yes, I've been into K-pop since 2013, so y'all just not have to come off my back. And then we have Tusi, who made number 9, and then Doja Cat, who made number 10. So that's he's got a little bit of everything on there.
Yeah, a lot of artists I'm not hip to, so right on.
Yeah, it's a little bit all.
And Mariah, do you want to just go ahead and say who's your top?
I'll say that, but really, when it comes to me this year, and I like to say that this year was not really about all of the list, so to say. It's really I found myself it was defined about who I was crossing off of my list. And when it came to that, just really about not any really new discoveries I had. It was those ones that I always listened to, and just the deletions there when it came to Diddy, when it came to Nicki Minaj, when it came to Kanye West. I had to put them on pause there. And just really a lot of these artists found themselves the music became way quieter than the headlines even. So when it came to that, but it just really was a year of stepping back for me, just really reevaluating, just realizing that every vibe really just isn't worth carrying when it comes to a lot of this stuff. And just in the middle of all that noise, though, I have to say that there was one shining moment, and I did celebrate, and that is the return of the queen herself, Mariah Carey, blessing us with her 16th, yes, y'all, 16th studio album called Here for It All. So yeah, it was a really just a year full of just that chaos and cancellations, as we said, but she gave us that clarity that only a legend, that true artistry that that she delivers, that unmistakable magic that she brings us. And Here for It All is actually Mariah Carey stepping back into her her throne, stepping back into what she does. 16th studio album, y'all. It dropped on September 26th, and through her own Mariah imprint, actually, this time, called Gamma. So yeah, this album is Mariah being Mariah nonetheless, and just a whole lot of eclectic. It's fearless, just really playing with sounds that the girls, they could make. So she moves just to pop and to R&B, just do all of it like she always does, like ease, like honey, like butter. So yeah, just sprinkling a little bit of that funk. We saw some disco on Here for It All, soul, and just gospel like only Mariah can deliver. And we saw some features there from Anderson .Paak. It was there Kalani, Shansia, even called up the Clark sisters, y'all. And Mariah, when she says, I want range on this project, that's what she got here. So yeah, they called him the big dog. So the rollout, it was just really iconic. We saw Type Dangerous as a leader there. Another one, Sugar Sweet, and then we saw Tight Dangerous on the charts. When I say the charts, that's the Billboard Hot 100. This was her 50th entry, y'all. And that's just, we have to say, that's legendary.
Mhm.
That's how legendary behavior.
Yep. Okay. 8 down. 8 down. And my favorite Mariah album of it's so hard, but I feel like Emancipation of Mimi will always just be like there for me. That's like my favorite of all time. But yeah, it's so interesting. I love getting like to know everybody's music taste. I'm definitely gonna like absorb this into my personality and into my playlist in 2026. I did not peg you as a Smiths fan, Celiana, but I don't know why. I should have.
I'm a closeted Smiths fan, apparently.
I got a couple albums, but it's funny because anyway, I guess I didn't listen to any Smiths this year. This is funny. And Cleo
K-pop.
Oh,
K-pop.
K-pop, Miss K-pop over here dominated your list.
look, it keeps my child heart alive. Okay, if I appear any sense of youthful, it is because of this.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
It's like I lived during that era of like posters on my wall and like saving the little trading cards from the albums. Like, okay, yeah.
Solid. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to acknowledge too, we have people contributing to Burning Spear, the Burning Spear TV YouTube right now. We got Unemployed Scholar 4320. Thank you so much. He said congrats to nominees and winners earlier when we were doing the awards announcements. We also got Sandra Uhuru 926. It says salute to your great work. Thank you, Uhuru. Salute to your great work, Sandy. And then we also have Comrade Talmadge, who also dropped in $10 for our YouTube today. So thank you, Talmadge. And Unemployed Scholar dropped another donation, another $3 right in there. So thank you. And there's supposed to be a baby lemon with pom poms in the sand cheerleading, but this streaming software doesn't know how to like compute that. So we appreciate you guys and your contributions to the Burning Spear TV. Don't forget, you can also become a member on the Burning Spear TV's YouTube channel. So, check that out. Get those member perks as well. Yeah, so I think we're going to go ahead and leave it there with the For the Culture. But we are really interested. If you can, just drop some of your favorite tracks this year, 2025, favorite artists. And, go ahead and help us figure out what our 2026 playlists are going to look like. On the Spotify Wrapped one this year, they gave you like what your age is. I got 27, so so yeah, thank you, comrades, for sharing. And why don't we go ahead and transition now to just telling people, of course, if they want to get involved, if they want to volunteer, support the Uhuru Movement. How they can, where they can go to find that information. Dr. Mariah, can you let the people know?
Yeah, absolutely. For all of our events and everything else that we have going on, y'all, you can always visit TheBurningSpear.com/events to check it out. That's TheBurningSpear.com/events. And of course, we'll be keeping you updated right here on One Africa Worldview. So make sure you subscribe and you're locked in on any of our socials, so you make sure you can follow us and keep up right there.
Oh, that is it. That is it for today's show. Thank you once again to all of our viewers and our listeners and tuning in to our hot mess when we were going through our list. Shout out, Unemployed Scholar for the donation to our channel, and everyone who has donated today. Thank you so much. Make sure to, of course, grab your very own December 2025 issue of The Burning Spear. It is the last issue of the year. It is our anniversary issue, so definitely check that out. And don't forget to, of course, subscribe to this channel. Never miss an episode of One Africa Worldview podcast. As we have said, we stream on Burning Spear TV, YouTube, Rumble, as well as BP 96.3 FM radio based in St. Pete, Florida, and streaming globally on the Black Power 96 FM app. So y'all already know. But until next time, One Africa,
One Nation.
One nation.